Trash and junk has started to pile up on the side of our road sides. What, if any, actions do you plan on taking to fix this?
I spoke with Senator Ralph Heiss about this, and they took, what I think needs to be done is the prisoners put back on the road. Now, it may cost the state a little bit more money, but I think that was the most efficient way we had. But the first thing is also a little bit of education. Why in the world do we have to throw out trash on the road instead of waiting until we get it to a trash dump? That's the biggest thing, is to try to educate and start this education early. Start this education in Greenleaf Primary. Start this education with the kids when they're young. But that would be my solution.
Thank you. Next question from Mr. Brandon. Oh, we've got challenges all over the place here. Well, let's see.
It's before moving in.
I want my new car I saw first. I saw your car first.
Folks, drive out Grassy Creek, come off the Blue Ridge Parkway, the most traveled section of the parkway that we have, and see what's going on out there. It's not just trash, it's junk everywhere, and how are we going to get people in our county if it looks like that? At some point in time, whether we want to or not, and it's going to be a very unpopular decision, but a decision that's going to have to be made. If you're going to change it, you're going to have to do corridor zoning, where you have certain areas off the road that are designated that they have to be clean. If you want to get people in Mitchell County, if you want to get tourists to come, if you want to keep people in Mitchell County, we've got to keep Mitchell County cleaned up.
Brandon?
I think that question's an easy one. I think the litter hurts everyone in our county, but I also think that if our sheriff's department wasn't tied up transporting inmates up and down the mountain constantly, they can enforce some of those laws and be proactive in catching some of these people that's throwing this trash out on the road. It's just one of the many trickle-down effects of our officers constantly being out in the county transporting prisoners. And I think a jail would definitely help with a whole host of issues, including that one.
Jay?
Well, Brandon just touched on what I was going to say. If we build a 100-bed jail, we just want to expect them to sit there and watch TV all day. We're going to put them to work. Community service, we're going to put them out picking up trash, and on these roads, get these roads cleaned up the way they should be, and how they used to be.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Oh.
Everybody else is starting to go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I would just say, right now, I think a right now solution is we can all come together and be more proactive instead of reactive. And I want to say that I know that currently the Bakersville Community Foundation, as well as the Gillespie Community Foundations, are in the process of organizing a spring cleanup. So, step up or shut up. So I'll be the first one to get out there and pick up trash right along the road that I've seen many people in here actually that get out here and pick it up. So I would like to see each and every one of you guys sitting up here pick it up.
Next question from Mr. Brandon Roberts will be directed to Ronnie Gambrell Jr.
Mr. Cantrell, do you believe DSS is in crisis with the lack of social workers overseeing children in custody?
Oh, yeah. My whole campaign, when I was going around the community talking, this DSS has been brought up. Yeah, this DSS is a problem. When I've been out campaigning talking to people, that's the first question comes up. What are you going to do about DSS? There's a lot of money that's going up there, and there's a lot of people mad. There's a lot of voters, a lot of people in this county is mad. And I believe that we need to help the children. We need to build a county home. These children don't need to be shipped down the mountain to Raleigh. They don't need to be going to Charlotte. They don't need to be going to all these other places. We need to have a place here to take care of them at home. And like I said, that's if I'm elected, that's going to be one of the first things I look into. It's going to be the Department of DSS.
Thank you. Next question will be by Bruce Acker. For Wayne Godfrey.
Mr. Godfrey, what is your background on working with a budget, and what's the largest budget you've ever managed?
The largest budget I've had is 1.3 million. Running an ambulance service. We had 3 stations, 28 employees. I had to do their scheduling, their payroll, order supplies, do billing. So I have an idea how it's ran.
Okay, thank you. All right, Brian, we're back to you for Chad Green.
What is your position on the current state of our local fire departments, and what, in your opinion, should the county do to either support them or suggest changes?
Volunteers, fire departments are heroes. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have nobody to come respond to these fires we have and stuff. I think the county ought to give them anything they need, because if you don't have them, then you're going to pay firefighters. You know, most of these guys volunteer their time to come out and do what they, you know, help the community and responding. I've seen them volunteer in the community doing everything, responding to wrecks and everything. So I say the county ought to give them what they need to do their job effectively.
Thank you. All right, Brandon to Aaron.
Mr. Holman, you touched on this a little bit. What is your vision for supporting young families in Mitchell County?
That they have an industry to work in. We've lost all our industry here in Mitchell County. We lost our delivery plant, we lost our furniture plant, and it seems like that's just not coming back. It seems like we need to get and try to get some industry back into the county where people can work, have a good job, have good insurance, and keep a family up. It's hard to do it now in this county. I mean, we have Walmart and McDonald's to work at. You can't make a living wage at these places. They need a living wage to have and attend to their families. That's what we need. We need some industry. You just gotta get on the telephone and call and see what you can get. It's not gonna come on its own. You have to get up and put some effort into it.
Thank you, Bruce Acker for Jeff White. Oh, got a challenge, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The average household median income in Mitchell County is at $40,000 for the first time in the history of Mitchell County. That's a higher median household income than Watauga County, Avery County, or Yancey County. BRP's done a $4 million expansion. Sabelco's planning a $40 million expansion over the next 10 years. The prison's begging for people to go to work at a very reasonable wage to work. There's jobs in Mitchell County that people will work.
Mr. Horton, do you plan to promote any changes to the existing taxes, and if so, why?
I wouldn't propose to change any tax hike, Bruce, but I pointed out some numbers here a few minutes ago. Mitchell County spending our part of the new 3A schools, $18 million. We can currently afford to do that with the money we have now. But if we want a sheriff's office, if we want a jail, if we want a rec center, that's another $18 million. That's $105,000 a month payment for 20 years that we don't have. So basically what this boils down to, if the people of Mitchell County say, yes, we want these, then we need to have public meetings, public forums, town halls, and say, okay, folks, your taxes are probably going to go up because Mitchell County cannot afford to do this. But as I pointed out, we're close to $800,000 transporting prisoners to McDowell County, and that leaves us deputies short in this county. So it's going to be a Mitchell County decision.
All right, Brian for Harley Masters.
Mrs. Masters, tell me about conflict of interest and how you manage it.
There are multiple things that I would consider conflict of interest that have been around since my lifetime, over the past 10 years. I don't agree with it, and I don't really understand why it continues to get overlooked. I don't like the good old boy system. You know, I'm a very straight shooter. It doesn't matter who you are, I'm gonna treat you the same at the end of the day. So I think that kind of needs to be gone away, reevaluated, and if it's a rule, it's a rule. It needs to be all across the board. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what last name you've got. So.
Okay, I guess we've got Brandon for Brandon.
Mr. Bishop, when youth league teams have to share a gym to practice, how are they going to do it when two gyms become one?
Will you repeat that question? Yeah.
When youth league teams have to share a gym to practice, how are they going to do it when two gyms become one?
So that's a question that really kind of centers around my life. Nobody knows about sharing gym space more than a wrestling coach. Wrestling's kind of the red-headed stepchild from the Nationals, doing some muscles back there. It's kind of the red-headed stepchild of athletics. We get what's left over. To my understanding, we're not going to close our gyms with the construction of a new school. I heard that, so I would assume that all the current gyms will remain open and be used to the public.
Bruce for question.
This is a long one. The county funds economic development, yet no new industries or businesses have come to the county in the last several years. Do you believe the county should go in a different direction to be more successful? How long should you keep doing the same thing and getting the same results?
Yes, I believe the county should look at different ways. The economic development has not done very much over the few years, so I believe we need to research and look into different options, and we also need to have good representatives in Raleigh and communicate with them along with senators in the House to try to help us in ideas and grants toward recruiting businesses to this area.
Okay, Ron for Jacob.
Commissioner Willis, you got to touch on this briefly at the beginning, but somebody wants to know, why do you want to be a county commissioner?
I grew up here my whole life, and I love the people of Mitchell County, and I love Mitchell County with all my heart. I've dedicated my whole life to service in Mitchell County. I started out bagging groceries at Food Line for $3.75 an hour, and now I work helping grandparents raising grandchildren due to the opioid crisis. I love Mitchell County, I love the people, and I want to see Mitchell County do well.
Number two there. Bruce? No, Brandon. Brandon, coming back to Mr. Burleson.
Commissioner Burleson, what do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in Mitchell County? Dr. Wilson.
The capital projects, it's just like we said, we've got to build a sheriff's office. We've got to figure out how to pay for that too. We can do that. We can build a sheriff's office. Infrastructure, you've always got that. The county's got lots of things that they need to do. We need to replace some water lines, paving some of these places. There's always kind of maintenance that we need to try to budget and take care of. Capital investments, we need that, but we've got to try. And our economic development guy is working as hard as he can, but it's hard to bring industry in, folks. But again, like Commissioner Willis said, there's jobs out there if people's looking for a job.
Okay, no. You, Bruce. Quit trying to get out of the word. You're for Raymond.
I seem to have tax questions tonight, Raymond. This one's interesting. Are county taxes too high, about right, or pleasantly low?
I would say they're not pleasantly low. I was wanting to rebut on the taxes in Mitchell County. I know I ain't got much time, but I'm gonna try to get through this. When they was gonna put their third ambulance on, they proposed to raise a sales tax. That means when anybody comes in out of state and they buy a drink or they buy whatever in this county, that you get a tax off of it. But it was misrepresented. It was on the ballot. You want your sales tax raised? Well, no, I don't, unless I know what it's for. I believe that if we're going to get some stuff done here, we can't live on the tax base that we're on right now. I mean, I don't want to raise taxes, but if we don't have money to, build the rec centers and all that stuff, there's going to have to be another option to get some money in this county. There's always grants and there's stuff like that you can get. But if the best thing I see is the sales tax, but it needs to be put on the ballot.
Thank you, Raymond. A moment of levity here. Brian, to Wayne.
Mr. Godfrey, if elected, what would be your number one priority in getting to or for the benefit of Mitchell County?
Solving some of the dilemmas that we're going through right now would be like the DSS. We need to get that solved. There's a lot of people out there that are upset about it, and it seems like that seems to be taking all the talk. We need to get that solved, and that would be one of the first things I would tackle.
All right, Brandon for Chad.
Mr. Green, if elected, would you initiate a service to live stream all county commissioner meetings online?
Sure. I think you ought to have open door policy. I think anytime we commissioners meet, the public ought to be invited. If it's put on radio or whatever, they should know they're the citizens. It's their tax money. They ought to know what's going on with their money. So yes, I think they ought to be live streamed or any other communication to get out to the public what's going on.
Bruce for Aaron.
Mr. Holman, the role of a county manager, what is the role of a county manager, and then how does that person relate to the role of a county commissioner?
The county manager helps manage the county, obviously, so he has a lot more say than what the county commissioners do. He's there to help us out and push us along and get us on the right path. I mean, the commissioners need to listen to what he has to say and keep on with that.
Brian for Mr. Harding.
Commissioner Harding, do you think a new consolidated middle school is necessary, and do you think it is the best interest of the children? And how is a stretched Mitchell County budget going to survive without taxes going through the roof?
Number one, yes, I do think we need a new school system. We have aging schools. Harris is in terrible shape. We have a drop in enrollment. Right now, it's putting a financial strain on the Board of Education to keep those buildings operable. I've already stated, no, we don't have to raise taxes. Our portion of the new school, the 3A school, is $18 million. The school system has a $15,000 free grant. Now, it's going to be tight, very tight. I've looked at the numbers with the finance officer. But we can make this $18 million payment. But let me tell you, our kids deserve the best. They deserve the best education. They deserve the best building. And I'm personally tired of seeing us finish second place and be satisfied to finish second place when it comes to our people and our children. It's time to finish first.
Okay, Brandon for Clark.
Ms. Masters, should the county have a short-term and long-term strategic plan? And what would your priorities be in such a plan?
As a small business owner, you need to always have a plan. I think that the current board that goes in needs to sit down and make a list a group list, work together and figure out what these main issues are short term, what they can step up and help and resolve, which is a lot, but long term, the same as well. But honestly, I mean, I know DSS is a big issue currently right now, but there's so much more, and there's so many departments that are going to interfold between each other that you can't just focus on DSS. You can't just focus on the sheriff's office. You can't just focus on even sanitation. Like, there's so many interworking parts to the whole thing. So.
Bruce or Brandon? No. Challenge?
I'm not gonna challenge Harley, I'm gonna add to Harley, guys. We talked about a lot of things here tonight that's involving a lot of money, and the reason we're in this shape right now is because we've not had a plan. We've not had a wants list, we've not had a needs list, we didn't know where we want to go, we didn't know how we were gonna get there. So now all of this is all clustered together, and we're looking to spend all this money because we had no plan. It was my goal when I ran 2 years ago. The first thing I wanted to do is sit down and have a plan. That was a year ago. We met a year ago in February. As to this date, a year later, we still have not got a plan on paper, and we met 5.5 hours on a Thursday night, and a year later, we still don't have a plan. So we're in the need for a sheriff's department and a jail and recreation for our folks. We've got to have a marketing plan when this new 4-lane comes through so people don't drive straight on by. We got to get them in our towns. So yes, a plan is very needed.
Challenges for Raymond?
I'm not talking against either one of them either. I just wanted to add something to that about any different agencies here in the county. We've got a bunch of fire departments here that's hurting. I didn't realize it until I started going back to some fire meetings. I've been retired for a long time. That they're still fighting the same battles today we was fighting in the 80s. They're working on the same tax dollars. They got all this new equipment. You can't get people in here, but yet they're not getting the money that they need to keep their equipment up. And when I was with Bakersville, when I first started at Bakersville, we had to pitch in money to keep equipment up and buy equipment because we ain't got the tax dollars, and we got to do something to help them. But every agency, I'm not singling out firemen, but it seems like it's a shame in this county that it hadn't changed from the 1980s, that you're still fighting the same battle and you ain't getting anything done.
Challenge?
I'm not challenging, but if we're gonna raise taxes, and we're gonna have to sooner or later, it's inevitable. I think what we need to do is make sure that some of these tax money is earmarked for specific things like public safety or public health, and that money stays there to be used and not taken out to be used for something else.
Okay. Bruce or Brandon?
Mr. Pittman, how much was spent on the 2 tracts of land that was purchased for the intention of building the new school? And why was there so much difference in the price paid?
Well, that sounds like that was a question for a current commissioner instead of a candidate, but I'll do my best. I heard somebody allude to the fact that it was valued at $175,000 and around $400,000 was spent on that tract of land. And I think it's pretty simple. Whoever owns the land can sell it for whatever they want to. So that's called the free market, folks. We don't have a lot of flat land in Mitchell County. That's a problem. Flat land is expensive. You're going to pay for it.
Okay, Brian, challenge?
Now, just to add to it, why is the county purchasing land for a new school when we already have 4 schools? We have Bowman and Goose, and Harrison Dayton, and that's the school they want to replace. Why not pick the worst school, tear it down, accommodate the children in the other school till the other one's built, and then have a new school there? Why keep buying land and spending money we don't have?
Go ahead, Brandon.
So I'm not up here to be a yes man for the school. I have this wonderful thing called tenure, which allows me to fully participate in my government. Without it, I would never even think about running for county commissioner. But I will say this, I worked at Harris and I work at Bowman right now. I've been in both schools. And I think, I said this the other day and I'll stand by it, we're gonna build a new school whether we like it or not. It can be essentially located school, or we're gonna build a new school in Spruce Pine because Harris is in bad shape. When it rains, if you go to school tomorrow after this rain, you will see buckets from one end of that building to another. In the classroom I worked in, there was mold growing on the wall. The state came out and looked at it, and I love my sponsor, so I always tried to downplay it, but that school's in bad shape. Half the building is unusable.
Okay. Where are we? We're to Brian for Wesley.
Mr. Bond, should Bakersville receive more financial support from the counties if they do not have the same tax base revenue to support their community planning efforts?
I believe the tax base should be split equally across the whole county due to the needs of each area where the departments are and such.
Okay, Brandon for Jacob. Oh, we got a challenge.
I'm not gonna challenge Mr. Bond, but we're all Mitchell County. From Gilligan to Little Switzerland, I think the money needs to be spread out. There's more to Mitchell County than Spruce Pine and Bakersville.
Okay, we're to Brandon for Jacob.
Commissioner Willis, if you received a $1 million grant to use for the county any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
I'd build a sheriff's department.
All right.
Because we're their next dangerous.
Thank you, sir. Bruce, you're up for Daniel.
I have changed the question that I drew because this one actually refers to something happening and it needs to go to someone that's not an incumbent. So I'm going to hold it until the next time I ask an incumbent. And I will ask Mr. Burleson, what is the current financial status of the county and do you foresee any financial challenges in the next few years?
Oh, it was like Commissioner Willis said, when we came on the board, we were faced, I understand that there was $1 million taken out of the fund balance to balance that budget. We know what that does to the next year. But again, all of the employees of Mitchell County, we worked and we saved and we didn't spend and we ran the county like a business, like it should be. So no, our county is in good financial condition right now. There's no reason to raise taxes for a while, and there's no reason that we can't continue without raising taxes. We can do all these things if we go as we're doing, if we pay as we go, if we watch every nickel that's spent and we try to get every nickel in that we can. Now that sales tax deal would be a good deal if we could get another additional quarter-cent sales tax. Most stuff are rounded off anyway, but that would help a great deal with Mitchell County. So we need to put that back on the ballot one of these days and try to get that passed because that doesn't hurt the citizens. That hurts, and it doesn't hurt them, but the people coming in is the ones that we benefit from that.
Thank you. Okay, no challenges, all right. Next question, Brian for Raymond.
Mr. Cantrell, what is the best idea you have received for improving the county while you have been campaigning?
I'm sorry, can you?
It's okay. What is the best idea you've received for improving the county while you have been campaigning?
The best idea? There's so much that needs to be done in this county. It'd be hard to, pin one thing down. If this county's not good a shape, we need to start doing some things. We need to build a jail. I mean, we need to get things rolling on that. That's a good idea because bleeding money, transport these prisoners. And then, again, you've got the children. We need a children's home. And then, we need to take better care of our elderly. these people that sacrifice having heating oil this time of year versus their blood pressure medicine, and that just ain't right. That's not right, and that's something that I want to see improve.
Any Chalmers?
I agree. Everything that everybody's talked to me about is a new jail, and it will create some good, solid jobs. Next thing is the health department. Everybody's afraid that the health department is going to be lost. So we need to try to keep that going if we can. A lot of it all reverts back to public safety and public health, and it's rightfully so.
Okay, no challenges. The next question is from Brandon or Wayne.
Mr. Godfrey, are you aware of the laws regarding county commissioners revealing the discussions and meeting notes of a closed session to the public or the press?
I have been reading up on those. From what I understand, if it's personnel, that remains confidential. However, if we're discussing anything else, then once that subject becomes final, the minutes should be released for that meeting.
Okay. Bruce for Chad.
And Mr. Green, this is the question that I put off just a moment ago. Some commissioners seem to be more about finding something wrong with the department or an area in the county and going after them rather than working together for improvements and doing more actual planning. How would you be a different kind of commissioner?
As a commissioner, to have a plan, you gotta take everything as a team effort. And team to me is to together everyone achieves more, and that's by reaching your goals. Not targeting one area, but when you lose 17 employees in 6 months at DSS, it's time to check into it and as a team and fix it. Don't just let it go by. You got to fix areas like that when you're losing that many employees. You know, and to touch on the budget, if we got to watch every dime and why are we giving away $12,000 to relocate and you never move? I'm just saying.
We have a county manager form of government. It's never the intention of a commissioner to dig into an agency. You hope your county manager takes care of those issues, and you don't have to, because when you do, it hurts you a little bit. But we had to dig into DSS because we did over $1 million worth of budget amendments the first full year we sat on the board. And I understand what you're saying about employees, and I'm certainly willing to look into that, but DSS employees are state employees. How hard is it to fire a state employee?
Okay, next question, Hope Jones.
Just to add to what Jacob said, I don't think a lot of them's been fired. I think a lot of them's resigned. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Well, here we go again. First time I ran DSS was a problem. Here we go again, DSS is a problem again today. There are issues up there, folks. But what it boils down to with me is the kids. 90% of the funding is going out of county for foster homes in 5 months. $405,000 was spent. 10% of the money is staying in the county. We need to keep these kids in the county because we're losing money from our school system. But the big key is here, these kids are jerked up by the hair of their head. They're already upset, they're already very emotional, and they're going to some place where nobody knows them, and they don't know anybody. Are we fixing the problem, or are we creating a bigger problem down the road? At the end of the day, will they be going to see Sheriff on the street somewhere down the line because we didn't take care of them in our county?
Have a challenge from Danny.
With the DSS, the $12,000 or the $500,000 saved through this. It's not much to me about the money, but it's those children. And we went from about 90-something, almost 100 kids in foster care, to now we have around 50 or less. These kids are jerked up, placed here and there instead of, and now they're being adopted. They're put in homes that love them. They're put in with with kinship placement. We're looking after these kids. Don't worry so much about money when it comes to that. And if I have to do it over again and it saves one kid, one time, then I'll vote the same way I did.
I'm gonna ask this question. What does the $12,000 moving fee from Hendersonville got to do with the kids? It sounds to me like it's moving an employee from another place for $12,000. You can rent a lot of U-Hauls. You can move from California for $12,000. I don't think it's about the children. I think it's
Okay.
I want to use my last card here because I'm going to speak as a foster parent. There's 5 foster families in Mitchell County. Everybody say that's 5. Okay, I'm one, so that leaves 4. Okay, that's why the kids have to go out of the county, because something's wrong with DSS that they can't recruit foster families for the experiences and stuff that they've had with the DSS. Like I'm saying, something needs to be fixed. And if I'm elected, it won't be fixed.
All done?
At the end of the day, I don't want to ever hear a county commissioner say that they don't care about my tax dollars. You know, $12,000 is a lot of money. Again, like Chad said, you know, there is issues because there is only 5 foster families. That is a big issue. And regardless of what it is, it needs to be moved in the butt, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be moved forward, we need to be proactive, work together, because at the end of the day, as a GAL, when I stand in there in court and I stand there and I see these children who are in these really crappy situations, it'll get home. I would love to see each and every one of you take a day, go sit up there in court, and you see these children that they get jerked up by the hair of their head, they go somewhere they don't know, and this is a long drawn out process. So and I can tell you by firsthand, I had a mother who, and that kind of hits home for me, and she was not the best, so I understand where these children are coming from.
Okay. Wesley?
From talking to people in the community, everything, DSS is a major issue. Our kids should come first, and my brother and sister-in-law did foster parenting, and they adopted the 2 children they had, and all of the turmoil they went through watching them kids for the first year and a half before they got to adopt them was awful. And so you do need people at DSS that do care. You need a leader at DSS that knows the community, that's community knowledge and how the community is run and how the community is a community held together by love. You don't need an outsider running something that is responsible for our children and picking them up and sending them to Mecklenburg County to have to go to school when they're used to going to a rural county school.
Thank you. All right, believe it or not, I know where we are. Our next question is from Brian to Aaron.
Mr. Holman, is the county doing enough to make and or keep affordable housing? Repeat that. Is the county doing enough to make and or keep affordable housing?
No, the county's not big enough. It's not big enough to keep affordable housing here. We have no jobs. How can you keep, all of them's talking about the taxes that we're barely have. We're losing money, and I don't think we can keep affordable housing here. We have out there at Fairground Apartments, they're run down. We need new ones. They haven't been remodeled in years. They don't have really nowhere to go.
Okay. Brandon or Jeff?
If you thought the DSS stuff was a hot topic, you ready for this one? What will you do to bridge the gap between the towns of Spruce Pine and Bakersville to help alleviate any perceived differences shown to them?
Dang, that's an easy question. It's my opinion, and I honestly believe this, that you must have agencies working together. The county commissioners, the town of Bakersville, and the town of Spruce Pine all need to have joint meetings together. We need to know where we can help, we need to know where each other's needs are. If we don't work together, this is never going to be accomplished. And here again, this has been one of the things that I have pushed for, not only with the towns, but we meet with public education quarterly. I've also asked that we get updates from our department heads on a regular basis, so we know what their needs are and how we can meet those needs, where the failures are, where the strong points are. But yeah, that's an easy question. I think we need to have joint meetings every 3 months with both towns in the county.
Bruce, for the morning.
Ms. Masters, eventually Mitchell County's going to hire a county manager. Should they offer a contract to that county manager?
Yes, I do believe that they should offer a contract, but by God, they better stand by it.
Next question from Brian or Brandon.
Mr. Pittman, right now the county is tearing itself apart with social media rants and attacks on all areas of the county. How will you bring the county together to have everyone across the county working together for the county's success?
Well, no one deals more with social media attacks than a teacher. We mediate a lot of those conflicts. I can tell you this, kind of going back to the previous question, I've worked on both ends of the county, and I love both of those communities. They've both been good to me, they both have my back. I can tell you, this might be a hard pill to swallow, but I believe that the Director of Social Services has lost the trust and confidence of Mitchell County citizens. And I think that being on Facebook, arguing with citizens of Mitchell County is not a good way to bridge that gap. I would say that even a first year teacher knows better to do that.
Wesley, Brandon?
Be ready. Almost all the candidates running have full-time jobs. Are you aware that serving as a commissioner requires you not only attend all meetings, which some are scheduled during the workday, but you are also appointed to serve on various boards and committees in the county and region? Will your current job allow you to attend all of these meetings?
Yes, I am aware of that. I have 20 years in with the state. I work for the Department of Corrections, and with the meetings scheduled of the day and such, I do have vacation time and comp time that I can use to take off to attend these meetings. So yes, I am aware and fully will be available for all meetings.
Next question is not the challenge.
Not necessarily a challenge, but I will say that is one perk of being a small business owner. I didn't realize at first, a year and a half ago when I started attending the county commissioner meetings, how much actually goes into it. I also was unaware a year and a half ago that when I had decided to start thinking about doing this, that there are multiple boards. I've looked at those boards, I've seen what those boards consist of, what times they meet. So whoever goes in the primaries, I suggest all of you look at that and make that a priority, because each and every one of those boards that the commissioners need to sit on are very important and need to be a priority.
Thank you. All right, Bruce, to Jacob.
Mr. Willis, the county has seen many gains over the last few years, including controlling the county budget and the organization of the departments. However, most of the news and social media posts are negative. How would you help the citizens become more aware of the positive things that are happening?
I don't think it's a bad idea to stream the county commissioner meetings. And people that want to be informed, that information's there and it is transparent. The biggest thing that people need to know is that when you run for commissioner, you don't run for commissioner to harm your community. You run for commissioner because you care about your community. Is every decision we make perfect? No, but not every person's perfect. We live together, we work together, we go to school together, we all live here in this county. And the biggest thing that I'm proud of about Mitchell County is that for the majority, Mitchell County strives for life. And I think that sometimes we lose sight of that. This is not Donald Trump and Joe Biden. This is your neighbor, your cousin, your kin.
Question from Brandon? No, yes. No, I'm sorry. Brian for Danny.
Commissioner Burleson, pretty broad question here. What do you know about laws governing county employees?
I don't. Law, well, that's a question that's hard to answer. If something comes up with personnel or something, we've got the league to call, we've got Raleigh to call, we've got our own attorney to ask advice, but I don't know these laws, all the laws.
Brandon for Raymond.
Mr. Cantrell, how do you know that your personal feelings won't affect your job as a commissioner?
Well, I don't wish you really do. Till a problem would arise, but my job, you got to put your personal feelings aside. You got to be pretty thick-skinned to do the job I do. So.
Bruce for Wayne.
Mr. Godfrey, what are you going to, how are you going to help with drug court?
The drug court. I think what we need to do is get with the county attorney or district attorney and the judge and get some kind of a system set up to where some of these offenders be offered a chance for treatment, some education. If they don't have their education yet, help them get a GED. And if they're in long enough, then maybe we can get them a job of some sort, help them get a job to get started. That way when they get out, they got a running head start instead of just thrown out and reuse it again. So I think that can be done.
Next question is for Chad from Brian.
Mr. Green, what is the role and responsibility of a county commissioner? What do they have control over in regards to governing of the county?
The tax man, what they have control of. I think county commissioners should be a role model and be with the taxpayers, somebody that's very approachable. It's they be able to feel comfortable with and come talk to them with an issue, like the open door policy, like I said before. Just come be able to know that person enough to come in and sit down and talk to them, but, be approachable and be a role model for the county.
Brandon for Aaron.
Mr. Holman, many people run for office and when elected, try to please everyone. How will your philosophy of leadership direct you to make the best decisions for the county, even when some citizens are pressuring you to vote the other way?
You can't make everyone happy. You have to weigh the means, It's good for one person but not the other, and one for the community and not the other. It'd be hard to do that. So you just get.
Bruce for Chad.
Commissioner Harden, if you are re-elected, I added the reason that. Will you base your decisions on facts and evidence of what is in the best interest of Mitchell County residents, rather than just your opinion or what you believe will get the approval of specific groups within the county?
Look at my record, look at my voting record, look at what I've stood for in the last year and a half. I make every decision based on facts. I promise nobody nothing. I'll listen to what you have to say and I will address it. And I'm very blunt. Sometimes when my response comes out, and be honest with you folks, some people even call me an ass. You know, that's just how it is. But my decisions are based on facts and what is in the best interest and the best need of Mitchell County. I'm not looking to please anybody but myself and the good Lord.
Okay, Brian for Hardy.
Mrs. Masters, as if we hadn't touched on this enough, what are your thoughts on the county's DSS director earning a $12,000 incentive payment and 9 months of work? What are your thoughts on the county's DSS director earning a $12,000 incentive payment and 9 months of work?
At the end of the day, I think most of us in this room can agree that if it was a moving bonus, it's very black and white. There's no reason it should have been switched to a performance bonus. She didn't move here, she shouldn't have got the money.
Brandon for Brandon.
Mr. Pittman, how will your faith and values influence your views on public policy?
Well, that's a tough question. I believe at the end of the day, you know, I think I have a strong moral compass, and I think my parents did a good job instilling me what's wrong and right. I think when it comes down to it, and you have a choice between saving a buck or doing someone dirty, and doing someone dirty or doing right by someone, you choose to do right by people. That's what I've always tried to do in my life. That's what I try to do in my classroom. There's lots of occasions where you don't have a clear-cut answer as to what to do, and you just kind of have to trust in the Lord and do what's right. And if you get it wrong, you got to own that, and you got to fix it.
Okay, thank you. Bruce for Wesley.
Mr. Ball, can you cite an area of county government that is not getting proper attention?
Yes. Appears from what we're discussing out for several areas. One of the ones that I have been strong on over the years is the need for a sheriff's department and county jail. It's the biggest, it's a security issue for our county. It's a money issue for our county. You take one transport and you go down to Ralston and you have an accident, we're going to pay out more than what we pay for a county jail.
And Brian, we got a chance.
I'm going to use my last card. I don't necessarily disagree with Wesley. I would say no matter whether you're managing a big budget or you're managing a small budget, you approach them both the same. You're going to have to make choices. You can't get everything you want. We all make those choices every day in our household budgets. There's lots of things we'd like to do, but what we have to do is we have to prioritize and try to accomplish one of these tasks. I think for a long time we've been applying short-term solutions to long-term problems, and now we have a host of problems due to that practice. So I would want to listen to the voters. I would want to narrow down, what Mitchell County wants to accomplish, and I think we need to stay focused on one task at a time.
Okay, all done? Brian? For Jacob.
Commissioner Wellness, how are our schools today? Are we going to build a new middle school?
I think the school board voted to build a new middle school. And the truth of it is what Brandon Pittman said, that Harris Middle School is in such shape that you can't repair it. There's a gas leak, there's black mold, there's a lot of issues with that school. And so we're working with the school board to find the most cost-effective way to build the best building we can build.
Okay, that gets us to the point in our questions of the goal we had set to start with. We've arrived at it, and just so you know, each candidate got asked 4 individual questions. So a total of 40 questions have been addressed, so I think we're pretty good. So, what we will do now, and Kelly, you're on tap again, we will begin with our closing statements, and share your microphone there, gentlemen. Mr. Burleson, we'll begin with you. We have 2 minutes.
Again, I want to thank everyone for attending this forum. Folks, we have many challenges coming up: the new school, the sheriff's office, jail, emergency medical contract, economic development, the 911 center, just to name some of them. And I haven't experienced the help of these decisions that we're going to have to make. And as a board, we have to look at what is needed, but also what we can afford. The county is in good financial condition. If we continue and use the pay-as-we-go, as we're trying to do, then we will be financially stable without having to raise taxes and get some of these things done. My goal is to see that we succeed in keeping our county prosperous, yet stable, making our county appealing to attract retirees, building second homes, attracting jobs to keep our children from having to leave this area to make their living. I ask for your vote and support to help keep Mitchell County moving forward. God bless and good night.
Raymond?
We've addressed a lot of issues with our county here tonight. There's a lot of problems here. Whoever this new board is, or whether it be the old board re-elected, they've got a big job on their hands. I'd like to see, basically what we've touched on tonight. I'd like to see more jobs in this area. I'd like to see, the jail, the children, help for the elderly, and, supporting some of these other agencies with a little extra funding. And if we can't get that funding, we're going to come up with a way without having to raise everybody's taxes, because that's going to make everybody mad right off the bat. But there is ways. There's ways to get money without having to raise taxes. I would appreciate your support. Like I said, if I get elected, I'll do my best. I've always got an open ear. I'm always easy to talk to, and you can holler at me anytime. And if I win, I'll speak to you in public. If I lose, I'll still speak to you in public.
Mr. Godfrey?
Well, thank you. I want you to understand that there's not a personal agenda on my account. I'm trying to look out for us as a whole. There's not one person up here I wouldn't invite in my house and set up my dinner table. That doesn't mean I agree with everything they do. If you want an open and transparent government, please elect me. I promise that the commission will be honest and have integrity along with fiscal responsibility. There won't be any knee-jerk decisions made. I promise that all decisions will be made with research, facts, and what is best for everybody as a whole. I have no other political aspirations. This is the first time I've ever ran for office. So, I have no desire to go anywhere else with it. Making sound decisions for us all and putting back the trust that is required by you, the residents. Full transparency is my goal. I will always have an open door policy. I will always listen and try to explain my votes and my opinions. The county government is you, the citizens out there. You guys are Mitchell County. We need to take it back and make it ours. And we're all responsible. The county leadership is now in your hands. Just tell us what you want. What direction you want to go. All right, listen to me. I want an open and transparent meeting. I want them to be recorded so you can watch them anytime. And you can see how your government works. So you can see body language and facial expressions and attitudes. That tells a lot about a person also. It tends to keep everyone honest. Remember, what you allow now is what will continue. So let's take back our government. Only one commissioner here has been.
Thank you. Mr. Green.
Well, I just think everyone coming out tonight, be safe, going home, wait for roads. Like I said before in my opening statement, Mitchell County, it's time to move forward with a new jail, sheriff's office. And we need something for these kids in this county. There's nothing for them to do, a rec center or something, you know. Everybody goes out of the county anymore and spends their money in the counties because there's nothing here to do. Like I said before, in the Building Forum, 47 years I've seen a Walmart built. And that's the only thing I've seen that have success. We need to fix we need to get more foster families involved in the county, you know, so we can keep our kids here and our revenue here for that. And like I said before, I'm pretty blunt too. I'm like Jeff. I mean, most people think I just say what I think. You know, you like me if you don't, I'm sorry, but I'll still speak to you anyway. The good old boy system needs to go. It's time to move forward, Mitchell County. Tired of being behind 20 and 30 years. It's 2020, you know, we need to move on. Like I said before, I don't know what these county, I don't have no idea what these county commissioners make a month. But like I said before, I'm like Trump, you ain't gonna pay me. I'm not gonna give it back to the county, but I'll set up a special budget and show you every month that I didn't take a dime for the county. And we'll put that towards the youth. I'll help pay for something for them. And if you let me, I'll make sure that those two goals are met, everything in my power. I can't promise, it's according to the team that I'll have to work with, but we'll make a plan and we'll work very hard at it. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Aaron Holman.
Thank everyone for coming tonight. When Chad said be careful going home with the wet roads, there's a lot of issues brought up tonight, jail, industry, DSS. It's gonna take a lot to work out the kinks, see where we're at. If I'll take your vote, I'd appreciate it. I appreciate everyone here. Thank you.
Mr. Harding.
Guys, thanks for coming out, and just let me say this is a crucial time for Mitchell County. And I'm going to ask for your vote and your support. I'm a plain, simple person. As I said, I'm very blunt and straight to the point. I have not and will not make any promises to anybody except that I'll do the best that I can in this position. I'm not afraid to make a tough decision, and I've been part of making tough decisions. You can look at my record and I'll back that up. I back everything up that I've said. While I've been on this board, I have supported and stood behind our volunteer fire departments and those men because they took their life in danger every day. While I've been on this board, I fought to keep the Mitchell County Health Department in the Toll River Health District when it was possibly being looked at being moved to Boone and Appalachian Health Care. And this is a touchy subject, but I'm going to go ahead and point it out. I voted no to give the DSS director a $12,000 moving bonus because she signed the contract and she broke that contract, and I stand behind that. I'll say again, do we look to the future or stay where we're at? I coached basketball for a long time. I always like to win, competitive person. I'm tired of finishing second. The issues we've talked about tonight are major. And if we don't do something about it, we're going to stay where we're at. Mitchell County citizens deserve this. They deserve the best. And I am committed to this position and what it requires. And I've missed one meeting, and that was a 15-minute public hearing on January 28th since I've been elected. I'll say this: go vote. Support your candidates. You want to research your candidate, and if you don't vote, you don't have a reason to complain about anything.
Mrs. Master.
I know for a lot of people this election is about one specific issue, and I think it's clear it was Do I agree with the decisions that have been made recently pertaining to DSS? Absolutely not. However, that cannot be our only concern going into this. To me, that can be very dangerous. You cannot have tunnel vision going into a position like this, because if you forget about the rest of the departments in this county, that means they suffer, which in turn means we all suffer. At some point, each and every one of us in this room will need a service provided by the county. That's why I pledge my support to every department and every agency in Mitchell County. I will hold each of them accountable, and I will look forward to working with department heads, current commissioners, and whoever is elected to serve with me. On March the 3rd, I urge you to vote with your head and your heart. For the candidates who have track records of making honest and transparent decisions, you need to choose someone who will educate themselves so they can advocate and be a voice for every single one of you in this room, as well as every single person in this county. Vote for the candidates whose actions speak louder than words. And for heaven's sakes, please do not allow somebody to bully you, guilt you, or bribe you into voting, because at the end of the day, the county's at stake and it affects us all. I want to leave you with this thought. I offer something to Mitchell County that none of these other candidates do, and that is my generation and the generations to follow are the future of this county. I stand before you as a successful young business owner who's hardworking, has positive energy, and common sense. To those of you who have voted for me or plan to vote for me, thank you. I genuinely appreciate your vote. If you have doubts or concerns, please come and address those with me. Even after this, come over to the cafe, I'll put on a pot of coffee, we'll sit and talk. So, I will continue to be involved, and I thank everybody for coming tonight.
I feel like we are at a crossroads in Mitchell County, and I don't have all the answers, but I promise I will listen. I won't make hasty decisions. I treat people fairly. I'm self-reflective, and when I get it wrong, I own it. I'm not here to put myself on a pedestal. I'm flawed as much as anyone else. And I'll be the first to admit these things, because if we're going to move forward, egos will have to be left behind. The best way to lead is by example. I want to thank everyone who's supported me thus far. I especially want to thank my wife, Lisa, and my two sons, Branson and Zed. You guys are my rock. And last but not least, I want to thank my mom and dad, Sherry and Dean Pittman, who are the living examples of what Ronald Reagan said in his farewell address, that all great change in America begins at the dinner table. I'm the oldest of 5. Mom worked in a cotton mill. My dad was a mechanic or county employee. They worked hard, they sacrificed, they scraped by, and they taught us many of these important lessons at the dinner table. All 5 of their children went on to become first generation college graduates, and all 5 paid their way through college. They raised my oldest sister, who at the age of 12 had a massive stroke. She could have made an excuse for her life, but instead she chose to make a way. Today, she teaches special ed. I tell you all this because where you come from says a lot about who you are. You see, I come from a working class family. I have working class values, and I will be a good steward of our resources, because I will never forget where these resources come from. Our resources come from calloused hands who look an awful lot like my mom and dad's. Thank you for your time and consideration. I would appreciate your vote on March 3rd.
Let's move on.
I'd like to thank the Chamber for putting this on, and all of you for coming out tonight. Kind of like what Brandon just said about heritage. Our heritage in the community is very important. We don't want to lose it, so we need to find a way to retain it while we move forward and do come into the 20th century. We need to focus on our children, our schools, our firefighters. That is a big issue at the moment. DSS, the county does have a lot of issues, but we need to have the new board needs to have town hall meetings with the community to find out which issues they deem the most important in the agenda, and we need to tackle them first. and I promise you, I will do the best for Mitchell County that I can.
Jacob?
I would like to thank all of you for coming here, for Patty and the chamber putting this on, and for all of you taking your time to listen to what we have to say. And I will say that you need to go with where the proof is. And my grandpa used to say, the proof's in the pudding. Over the past 4 years, we've saved quite a bit of money, but not only in saving money, we've saved on the tax rate. We've saved for the citizens. And we're in the best financial shape we've been in Mitchell County in a long, long time. We made some promises like drug court, which has been implemented, which has seen folks moved on and to celebrate recovery, where they get the message of Jesus Christ that can change their life. We funded the one-to-one initiative to support the schools. We've worked hand in hand with the school board to support STEM and the RISE program. This board's accomplished a lot of good things, a lot of quality things. We extended the ambulance service so that the north end of the county would be fairly represented. We funded Meals on Wheels to Beulah so that that service would be for those folks in that community as well. We're working to get that in each community throughout our county. I would appreciate your support and your vote. Thank you.
We got another minute for Bakersville.
I want to rebuke. I'll just talk about, I want to rebuke the part about the ambulance service and the county bringing it down to the north end of the county. The north end of the county is still getting cheated. You're waiting long minutes for an ambulance to come to you. The county Mission Hospital brought that ambulance in with county tax dollars and they staffed it, but the county didn't give that much money for that ambulance. It's Mission Hospital, and it's still not getting, the north end of the county still not getting the service that they should get.
Okay, well, with all of that said, I would remind you that we owe a debt of gratitude to